Hi, and welcome to Big Blue Banter. I'm Lance Roth. Welcome to the final show of the semester.
And I'm Grace Bridges. Kentucky softball wrapped up its SEC road trip in Tuscaloosa over the weekend, taking on number 2 Alabama in a 3-game series. The Wildcats were looking to build on a midweek win, but the Crimson Tide show why they're the nation's top team, sweeping the series. Alabama set the tone early in Friday's opener, rolling to a 9-0 run rule victory. The Tide capitalized on Kentucky's struggles in the circle and at the plate. Allie Blum was a bright spot in the opener, collecting 2 of Kentucky's 4 hits against the Crimson Tide. In Game 2, Kentucky's offense came alive in the top of the 6th. Allie Blum punched a single into right to bring home pinch runner Katie Hershey, and Peyton Platts followed by shooting a 2-run single the other way to cap a 3-run inning for the Wildcats. In the top of the 7th, Maddie Clark hit a solo home run, her second of the season, to double Kentucky's lead. The Wildcats showed up offensively, but the Tide's hitting proved to be the difference as Alabama secured the series with a 5-4 win in Game 2. Alabama completed the sweep with a 4-0 shutout. Kentucky managed just 3 hits, with Emory Donaldson going 2 for 3 to lead the Wildcats. But yesterday, Kentucky outlasted Louisville 12-2 in 10 innings, piling up a school record 25 hits to erase a 5-run deficit. The Wildcats closed it with a 4-run rule in the 10th to take the rivalry game on the road.
The Kentucky football team just wrapped up its spring practice on campus. Now let's hear from Sydney Bird about Kentucky's blue and white football game.
Hi, I'm Sydney reporting for Big Blue Banter. I'm outside of Kroger Field as Kentucky just wrapped up the spring season with the blue and white game, where the blue team won 23-18, which is the offense. Will Stein was really happy with his team, and he was very happy with the offense and defense, and here's what he had to say.
And I think he's always working on his drop mechanics. Just working through 3-step drop timing with a hitch, pushing up in the pocket. Sometimes, even I dealt with it some. I mean, I was a lot shorter than Kenny. But when you're trying to get vision, a lot of times guys like to get outside of the pocket. I mean, Bo Nix did it. So we've worked a ton with Kenny on working through 3-step drop mechanics, 5-step drop mechanics from the gun, and really pushing and resetting the cup of the pocket. So I think he's working on that still, but I think just getting out there today for him was big, you know, like the crowd, the clock. I think he operates really well. There's some throws I thought, from my vantage point, like shaping it over a linebacker and pushing it down the field in spots, but I will never get mad at completions, ever. You know, it's about efficiency of offensive football, creating first downs, and staying on the field. So as long as we can do that and avoid negative plays, I think we can, definitely do some stuff offensively.
There's a lot of, as y'all know, a lot of firepower in terms of the coaching staff, especially offensively. So, they built the offense. We all learned it progressively over the spring. It's a lot of plays, a lot of different nuances. We didn't show a whole bunch today, but trust me, there was a lot, and it took a lot of extra meetings with the coaches. Extra time spent at home looking over notes, pictures. But I would say, obviously, we're only 2 or 3 months in, but I feel like everyone's definitely got a really good grasp on the offense, and what we've worked on throughout the spring and heading into fall camp and into the season now, it's just honing in on the details.
A lot of explosive plays, for sure. A lot of explosive plays, a lot of misdirection as well. And it's good to see that because we're going to face a lot of good teams that have not the same scheme, but similar schemes in the fall. So it's always great to see like a high-power offense that, could move down the field at will if they really wanted to. So, we got to buck up and stop them.
This will wrap up the spring ball. We look forward to what Will Stein and the team will bring for the fall as they continue through the summer and then fall camp. Here at Kroger Field, I'm Sydney Bird with Big Blue Banter.
Thanks for the update on football, Sydney. We can't wait for the upcoming season.
The Kentucky volleyball team is coming off an appearance in the national championship game. Natalie Alicia has more on the Wildcats exhibition game this week against Louisville.
Kentucky women's volleyball wrapped up its spring season Friday night, hosting rival Louisville at Memorial Coliseum. The Wildcats fell in 4 sets as Louisville took the match 25-15, 19-25, 25-10, and 25-16. Kentucky was led by Brooklyn DeLay with 13 kills, while Morgan Garty added 11. But Louisville's strong serving and net play made the difference. And looking ahead, the 2026 SEC schedule is now out, with Kentucky set to open conference play at Vanderbilt before hosting Texas in its home opener. The Cats now shift focus to the fall, aiming to stay strong in the SEC. Back to you, Grace and Lance.
Thanks, Natalie. Kentucky's track and field team is in the indoor SEC season nearing the SEC championship. Kat Beck has more on Kentucky's track and field annual meet in Florida.
This past weekend, the Kentucky Wildcats traveled down to Gainesville, Florida to attend the 3-day annual Tom Johns Memorial Invitational. The Wildcats left the Invitational with 4 event wins, 6 more top 10 program marks, and many personal bests. The competition started off strong with junior Jillian Gunnell performing a personal best in the women's 100-meter hurdles and women's high jump. She also succeeded another personal best in the women's 800 meters and earned 4th in the event. The Wildcats had 2 impressive performances by freshmen Megan Ewards and Grant Harrison. Harrison received his first career win in the men's pole vault, which placed him at number 10 Kentucky all-time. Ewards performed a personal best in the women's hammer throwing, placing 3rd and number 10 Kentucky all-time. Starting off day 3 was senior Theo Mazenzier making his first outdoor season appearance for the Kentucky Wildcats. Theo jumped a personal best in the men's triple jump with a distance of 16.83 meters, which places him at the number 1 spot in the NCAA rankings. Emmy Scales keeps dominating the field in the women's 100 meters. She qualified for the 100 meters finals after on in the meet, where she went on and received that first place win with a time of 12.88 seconds. Next up, the Kentucky Wildcats will be hosting the annual Jim Green Invitationals at the Kentucky Outdoor Track and Field Complex next week. Now back to you, Grace and Lance.
Thanks, Kat. We look forward to seeing what they can do in the SEC outdoors in a few weeks.
We'll be right back after this short break with some basketball updates from that banter couch.
Welcome back from the break.
Let's head over to the banter couch to hear from Ian Elkhorn and Brooke Hallmark about the men's basketball portal updates.
Welcome back to the Banter Couch. Today we would be discussing Kentucky basketball transfer portal in the spring football game. To get us started, Ian, should we jump right into the most recent missed recruit, Donnie Freeman?
Yeah, Brooke. Kentucky and Mark Pope had their eyes on 6'9" sophomore Donnie Freeman in the portal. The forward chose St. John's and Rick Pitino over the Cats. Freeman came on a visit just last week and canceled visits to other schools such as UConn, but ultimately chose the Johnnies in the portal. The portal has recently closed, so no other players can put their name in the portal. Kentucky currently has 3 players from the portal, so we can see what Mark Pope has for the players that are still in it.
On a bright note, another recent recruit, brother to Braden Hawthorne, a returning player from last year's season, Zion Hawthorne, has committed to Kentucky. Do you think that this is like a brother duo?
Yeah, I think definitely. I think maybe Braden Hawthorne maybe had some ultimatums for Coach Pope and the staff, maybe wanted to keep him here, you know, maybe wanted to make sure his brother got somewhere, got some good education. So I think that was maybe part of it, but hopefully, you know, he'll be able to help us. I don't know how much, you know, upside he has as far as his brother also. So hopefully we will be able to get the best out of him.
Yeah, Ian, I'm curious, what are your thoughts on Mark's current recruitment process with the transfer portal now closing? We've got just two new guys coming in for next season.
Yeah, I know we just got Zoom Diallo from Washington. I know that we really wanted Donnie Freeman, as we just touched on, but not getting him hurt. I don't know who else we have our eyes on. I know we're still waiting for Stokes and his commitment, which has kind of been prolonged, but hopefully, you know, that's the big one that I know Mark Pope and his staff are wanting to get. So if we can get him, I think that we'll be in better shape than we are now.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit nervous looking into the next season's roster, but hopefully Mark Pope can bring in some new guys.
Yeah. Moving on to from basketball to football, the football team had their first spring game this past weekend.
It was the first football spring game in the Will Stein era for the Cats, and it turned out to be a really good one. The offense won the scrimmage 23-18, but Coach Stein was more than happy with the way his guys played.
The game's a game. You know, it's not real football, but I think we got a lot of really good work. That's the goal of spring, is to improve with fundamentals and technique learn how to practice, learn what winning edges that we need throughout spring to go into summer and fall and prepare the team for play. We came out of the scrimmage clean. There was no injuries, which to me, that's the biggest win of the day. I could care less about the score. I could care if we come out clean, that's good. The Wildcats won. So told the team I was just really proud of their effort, their intensity, their execution throughout the last really 4 months since we got here, their willingness to be coached, and we're undefeated right now. We're 0-0.
That's all we have on the Banter Couch for our final show. Back to you, Lace and Grants.
Thanks for the updates, Brooke and Ian.
We'll be back shortly after this break with your final Kentucky sports updates for the semester.
Welcome back to Big Blue Banter. This past weekend, the University of Kentucky hosted its 21st Dance Blue Marathon.
Yes, I was there for this experience. Dance Blue is a special event that takes place only once a year, bringing the community together to raise money for pediatric cancer. This year, Joy's Prevail theme brought new life and energy to the marathon, and for the second time in its history, was hosted at Rupp Arena, making it bigger and more impactful than ever before. Andrew Moses, a 3-time participant, shares where his passion for Dance Blue began and why he continues to come back.
The main thing is being able to interact with the kids and seeing how happy they get, whether it's a simple game like cornhole or just a simple dance to make them smile, but also the community and the morale leaders making everything a positive experience, making it really easy and very encouraging all around.
Dance Blue has once again set a new fundraising record, bringing in an incredible $2.463 million this year.
This marks the third consecutive year the organization has surpassed the 2 million milestone, a testament to the growth and support dedication from the students and the community.
All proceeds go directly to support children and families battling pediatric cancer, making every hour of dancing count. The Kentucky women's soccer team faced off against EKU this past weekend. Miles Florick has more from the pitch.
Kentucky women's soccer dominated tonight in an exhibition match against EKU. The headline wasn't just the score, it was the freshmen stepping up. Nadia Ramadan and Sydney Arzacek each found the net, making the most of extended minutes. In an exhibition setting, development is priority, and Kentucky's young players showed clear progress, playing fast, confident, and aggressive. The Wildcats controlled the match, but more importantly are gaining valuable experience with their depth in freshman class. This is a strong sign for the season to come for the Wildcats. I'm Miles Florick, and this is Big Blue Banter.
Thanks for the women's soccer update, Miles.
For our final segment of today's show, Tyler Russell updates us on a pair of commits to the UK basketball team who just happen to be brothers.
On Tuesday, Kentucky men's basketball added another piece to its 2026-27 roster in Zion Hawthorne, a 6'1" combo guard from Huntington Prep High School in West Virginia. Kentucky is the only Power 5 school that offered Hawthorne, beating out schools like Bethune-Cookman, LaSalle, Wichita State, Arkansas State, and some others. Once arriving on campus, Zion will be joining his brother Braden Hawthorne, a former 4-star recruit from the class of 2025 and a redshirt freshman who is on Kentucky's roster this past season. Braden Hawthorne made his official return announcement on the same day that Zion announced his commitment to UK. The two brothers will be looking to play a big role in next year's attempt at a revenge tour. That's all on the latest Kentucky men's basketball news. Back to you, Grace and Lance.
That's all for the sports news this week on Big Blue Banter. Thanks for tuning in to this semester's Big Blue Banter. Quick shout out to Tyler Russell, who is graduating this year and will be leaving us.
Be sure to tune in next semester for all your Kentucky sports updates. We hope everyone has a fun and safe summer. Bye.